not so bad. Are you still good here?
No. So when I lived in Alaska, I drank a lot of Alaska burrito. So they have some really good IPAs. Yeah.
So you have to expound on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks, to your attention one more time, and then pass it right on over here to Kevin Klingman. We're going to go ahead and start off with Father Brad sharing some lovely words that he'd like to share on this day for his beautiful daughter. And then we're going to pass it on to the best man in the Maid of Honor. So let's give our attention to Kevin Klingman as he makes tears to our eyes.
I'm going to be in this corner.
Hello, I'm not sure if you actually just announced my name, I couldn't hear that, so I'll remind you if you didn't hear that. My name's Kevin Klingman. This is my lovely wife, Donna, of 32 plus years. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I do have the benefit of speaking after Mitch, and so that was good. I actually counted how many words you used, and I've got about 6 more. Anyway, well, Donna and I have the privilege of being Journey's parents, and she makes us proud every day. So first of all, I would like to welcome you all to Vernon, Texas, which is where we make our home now. So we're excited to have you here and celebrate with us the union between Max and Journey Rice. It sounds good, doesn't it? Max and Journey Rice. Rice. So we know that time is sacred and for all of us, and so we really appreciate you spending some of your time with us this weekend on this occasion. And so we do want to just make sure you're welcome, and so we want to say welcome and thank you for coming. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Zach. Or I'm sorry, Adam, sorry.
Zach is right over there. He's our usher. I'm Adam. I'm the best man. I'm Max's younger brother. So it had to be me.
Another option?
I'm the best man, so hear that, Max? I'm the best. When Max asked me to be his best man, I was completely honored, and I'm completely honored in this moment. I'm also humbled by everyone that was able to make it. So I'm grateful for your presence, truly. So thank you for coming. I also want to thank Kevin and Donna for making all the arrangements, and Mom and Dad, and last but not least, Max and Journey Rice. It's been a beautiful celebration, and it's such a happy celebration. And I might have to go to my notes. No. So Max and Journey met in person, not online, but they continued online for quite a time. And I think that's really quite a testament to their relationship and the depth of their commitment. And I think that, I can't imagine the patience that it took to watch episode after episode online together of The Office, you guys. But it's such a good thing. And so, in a lot of ways, I like to think about the similarities between Max and Journey's upbringing, and there's a lot of similarities. Both come from such incredibly supportive and loving families. I mean, that much is obvious. That's a note. I'm gonna do that. me a second here.
Great. No, Jack.
And continuing online, the relationship flourished, and I just see such a positive impact that Journey has on Max. You know, they lived a lot. They lived very parallel lives. There's a lot of similarities. You know, when I was probably in the basement playing video games or getting in trouble, Max and Journey probably in that moment were both, you know, reading fantasy books and so, a bunch of nerds. But I am one of them, so. But you know, maybe not every part of growing up was similar, and this is the time where I'm going to share just a couple stories, some brotherly moments. Don't worry, it's not going to be too embarrassing, Max. I got a couple moments here that I just want to say, partially to entertain you, but also partially to, you know, give Max a good send-off. You know, he's my brother, so, let's see, list of examples. We stayed up every night in high school. We stayed up so late, 3 a.m., you know, and we know that, and you know, talking about Warhammer, the next morning, Dad would have to drive us to the Pat's morning bus. I don't know how we did that, you know, that's such little sleep, but we did it. Let's see. Well, in college, and you got to join me for this, Max, but I had the pleasure to join Max for a year in men's choir, and so not too much. We're not going to do too much, but Sergeant Pepper's Lonely, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Bands. And we'll send you the video of the rest of the concert later. You know, I'm sure every Chicagoan has done this. You know, casually drinking a beer on the Red Line. You know, I have to throw that in there. You know, you've come a long way, Max. And most recently, Max has joined the ranks of being a gamer, and so we're going for the dub. We gotta keep going for the dubs. Stone, where you at? Paul, Tom, Zeke, Zach. We gave him that nickname in college, so it stuck. So, one sec.
Page 2. Turn page.
But yeah, the biggest similarity and the strongest one is I don't know how I'm gonna follow what I just said with this, but no, but it's really the focus on family values, and I have no doubt that that continued tradition. Jack's trying to come through the door now, but no, that continued tradition is in good hands. I see that, and I have no doubt. And so, all in all, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm proud of you both. Journey, you are kind and caring, authentic. You make my older brother happy, and I thank you for that. You know, as of today, I'm proud to call you my sister, even though for a while, you've been a part of our family. So thank you. And Max, I may be the best man right now, but you have been one of the best men to me, and you're my brother, and I love you. And I'm getting emotional. So congratulations, you two. May the future bring you much love, happiness, prosperity, resilience in difficult times, and cherished memories in good times. So I'd like to invite everyone to raise a glass, and let's toast these two.
Over to Dakota Stevens, the Matron of Honor, while get those tissue boxes ready because the Matrons of Honor usually make us cry.
Well, I am Dakota. I am Journey's Matron of Honor, and Journey was actually the maid of honor at my wedding 3.5 years ago, and this is definitely a lot less pressure for me giving a speech because my wedding had like 3 times as many people, so you got to have the bigger crowd with that one. But yeah, so my speech is going to be more sentimental than embarrassing, so you're welcome for that. So I have known Journey 7.5 years now, which it feels like it's been a lot longer than that. We met in college at Spring Arbor University. We were roommates our freshman year. And every now and then in life, you get the opportunity to meet someone who you just absolutely click with, and that is what I had with Journey. From the very first moment we met, I remember, freshman orientation week, that first week at college. There was one evening we had just some downtime, and Journey and I went for a walk around the campus, and we just talked about anything and everything. We talked about where we came from, about our families, where we were going, our hopes and goals and dreams for the future, our interests, and I just remember feeling that I could talk to you about anything. We just had so much in common, and since then, throughout that year, and since, we've just continued to grow that relationship stronger. At the time we were hoping to stay friends throughout college, and then Journey decided not to come back for a second year, which is fine. But I remember the day you left. I remember I helped you pack, your dad came to pick you up, I helped you bring your stuff out to the car. And I don't think I ever told you this, but that day that you left, I went back to our dorm room and I climbed up on your bunk bed and I just bawled my eyes out because I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to maintain a friendship long distance? And then, obviously you moved back to Wisconsin and then down to Texas, and so even further away. But through that whole time, we were able to not only maintain, but grow our friendship. Just through many Skype calls, many phone calls, trying to see each other at least once a year in person if we could. So Max, you were not Journey's first long distance relationship. Journey and I have seen each other through a lot of life, through deaths in our families, and through new jobs, and through moves, and again, through me getting married and her being by my side through that as well. We've just gone through so much together, and so I count you not only as a friend, but as the sister I never had. And so one of the things, obviously being friends with Journey for so long, that would come up is we would tend to talk about boys a lot. And, but often it was more so we would be talking about like my crushes and my interests. Journey never really had very many crushes during the time that I've known her, and I think part of that is because Journey is very careful about who she shares her heart with. She's someone who is just so beautiful on the inside, but sometimes it takes a little time to get to know her for that side to come out before you realize just what a beautiful and caring and creative and sassy person that she is. But she can be kind of cautious sometimes about who she shares that with, and so I was always kind of a little worried for her. Is there going to be a guy who's going to be willing to put in the time to get to know Journey and to see all those great qualities that I know that you have? And Max, I don't know if you were exactly what me or Journey were expecting, but you are that man, and you are the one who saw something in Journey worth pursuing, and you put in the time and the effort, and I know that you know what a treasure you have found in her. I know that you know all the beautiful qualities and that you see those the same way that I do, and you're here today because of it, and so that's such a beautiful thing. So I'm sure you've heard many people tell you up at this point that that marriage is hard, and I can attest to that. And I really you can attest to it too. You can attest to it too. But I really liked, the scriptures that you chose for your ceremony today. The Genesis verses about becoming one flesh, and then the passage from Paul about the roles of husbands and wives. Because the best marriage advice that I ever received was that, when you are married, it's so important that you remember that you are not two anymore, but you are one. Because marriage, there are times it's uncomfortable, there are times it is painful, there are times you are going to be called upon to make sacrifices that in the moment will not feel very fulfilling or fair. There are going to be times where, Journey, it's going to be really hard for you to respect Max and to want to submit to his leadership. And Max, there are going to be days where cherishing and loving Journey is going to feel like the hardest thing you've ever had to do. Just being honest, it's what it is. But the best marriage advice I ever received is, when we remember that we are one flesh and not two anymore, then you remember that when you do want to lash out at each other and you do want to, have things your way and not the other person's way, and those times when you are disrespectful and unloving to each other, you're not just hurting that other person, you're hurting yourself, because you are now one, and when you tear at the other person, you're ultimately tearing at your own flesh, essentially.